Judicial system in India. The Constitution of India provides for a single integrated judicial system with the Supreme Court at the apex, High Courts at the middle level, and district courts at the local level. It also provides for an independent and powerful judicial system. Judiciary in India acts as the guardian, protector of the Constitution and the fundamental rights of the people. There are three types of courts in India. There are three types, that is Supreme Court, High Court, District Court. Supreme Court at the apex level and High Courts acts as the middle level, and district and additional district judges, and later that subordinate class 1, subordinate judges class 2, and then they are divided into courts of small cases for metropolitan cities, and municipal courts are court of subjects third class. Functions of the judiciary. Supreme Court of India, its decisions are binding on all the courts. It can transfer judges of high courts, can move cases from any court to other courts, can transfer cases from one high court to another high court. It can High courts can hear appeals from lower courts, can issue writs to restore fundamental rights. It can deal with the cases with the jurisdiction of the state. It exercises superintendence and control over the courts below it. District courts are empowered to deal with the cases arising in the district, considers the appeals on the decision given by the lower courts. It decides the cases involving the serious criminal offences. Subordinate courts consider cases of the civil and criminal in nature. The Supreme Court of India. The Supreme Court of India has original jurisdiction, appellate, writ, and advisory jurisdictions. Every High Court enjoys original jurisdiction with respect to revenues and its collection, cases of succession, divorce, etc. High Court can issue writs for the enforcement of the fundamental rights of the people, and High Courts are also supervises the working of all the subordinate courts and frames the rules and regulations for the transaction of business. The High Court is empowered to interpret the Constitution of India. It can review the laws of the state legislature and may declare them null and void if they go against the provisions of the Constitution. Again, if a High Court is satisfied that a case pending in a lower court involves a substantial question of the law as to the interpretation of the Constitution, it may dispose of the cases itself. Subordinate courts are empowered to courts. They are the courts below the High Courts in each state. Their courts are under the complete control of the High Court. Appeals to the higher courts from the lower courts. An appeal may be also laid to the High Court against the decision of the district courts or session judge court. In a presidency town, there are cities, civil courts, and metropolitan magistrate courts. In this connection, we are note to that most of the judges of the subordinate courts are appointed by the governor in consultation with the high courts of the concerned state. Salient features of the Indian judiciary. The Constitution establishes a single integrated judicial system for the whole of India. The Supreme Court of India is the highest court of the country, and the below it are the high courts at the state level. Other courts like subordinate courts work under the High Court. The Supreme Court controls and runs the judicial administration of India. All courts in India forms links of a single judicial system. And the second important feature of the Indian judicial system is independence of judiciary. The Constitution of India makes a judiciary truly independent. It provides for appointment of judges by the president, high qualification for appointment as judges, removal of judges by the difficult method of impeachment, high salaries, pensions, and other service benefits for the judges, independent establishment for the judiciary, and adequate powers and functions, autonomy for the judiciary. All these features together make the Indian judiciary an independent judicial system. Third feature of the Indian judiciary system is the judiciary as the interpreter of the Constitution. The Constitution of India is a written and enacted constitution. The right to interpret and clarify the Constitution has been given to the Supreme Court. It is the final interpreter of the provisions of the Constitution of India. And the fourth feature of the Indian judicial system is a judicial review. The Constitution of India is the supreme law of the land. Supreme Court acts as the interpreter of the protector of the Constitution. It is the guardian of the fundamental rights of the freedoms of the people. For performing this role, it exercises the power of the judicial review. The Supreme Court has the power to determine the constitutional validity of all laws. It can reject any such law which is held to be unconstitutional. High courts also exercises this power. And the fifth feature of the Indian judicial system is high courts for each state as well as a provision for joint courts. The constitution lays down that there is to be high court for each state. However, two or more states can by mutual consent have a high court. And the sixth feature of the Indian judicial system is a Supreme Court as the arbiter of legal disputes between the Union and states. The Constitution gives to the Supreme Court the jurisdiction in all cases of disputes like between the Government of India and one or more states, and in the second case between the Government of India and any state or states on one side and one or more states on the other side, and the third case between two or more states, and it is a guardian of the fundamental rights. Indian judiciary acts as a guardian of the fundamental rights and freedoms of the people. The people have the right to constitutional remedies under which they can seek the protection of the courts for preventing a violation or for meeting any threat to their rights. The Supreme Court and the High Courts have the power to issue writs for this purpose. Separation of judiciary from the executive. The Constitution of India provides for a separation between the judiciary and the other two organs of the government. The judiciary is neither a branch of the executive nor in any way subordinate to it. The judicial administration in India is organized and run in accordance with the rules and orders of the Supreme Court. And the ninth feature of the Indian judicial system is open trial. The courts in India are free. This conducts open trials. The accused is always given full opportunity to defend himself. The state provides free legal aid to the poor and needy. And the last feature of the judicial system is the judicial activism. Indian judicial system has been becoming more and more active. The Supreme Court has been coming out with the judicial decisions and directives aimed at active protection of public interest and human rights. Judiciary has been giving directives to public officials for ensuring a better security for the rights of the public. The public interest litigation system has been picking up. The system of Lok Adalas has also taken a proper shape and health. Thank you.